Welcome back, everyone, to Wave 2 of the Clymire Podcast. I hope you guys liked the episode. If this is the first time you're listening to the podcast, please be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share it with your friends. Now, let's get to it. The topic of the day.
The Clymire Podcast. Stay tuned to Clymire Podcast.
This is my story about what it was like growing up without a father. As I mentioned on the last episode, the only father figure I ever had didn't last that long, and I was very young. After his passing, I was raised by my mom alone and pretty much never had a father in my life. It's really hard for a kid, to not have a father, and as you go on in life, making friends and seeing your friends having a father and son bond, it's frustrating and you become envious. At least that's how it was for me. Father's Day was the one day in the year that I hated the most for the same reason. Every year, they would host a Father's Day celebration in school, and every kid would have to participate in a show presentation for all the dads. Yeah, you can only imagine how I felt, right? The worst part was that I was obligated to participate in those events, whether I had a dad or not. I felt so envious of my classmates who had dads and were celebrating and having such a great time. I always felt so empty and alone. I really left a huge hole in my heart. It's a part of me that was missing, a part of me that I might never have. But who knows? Maybe once I become a father myself, I might fill the gap with the pride of being a real dad. I always ask myself, how does that have an effect on my life? What changed in me just because of that fact? Obviously, when there's something missing in your life, you find a way or you find something to fill the gap with. I never realized it, but the thing that filled that void in me was none other than the music. No wonder I always found joy and peace in the heavy rock, ironically. Along the road, I made some friends who also connected with me on the same matter, males and females alike. The funny part is that that's exactly what made us have a bond in the first place. That's how the friendship started. And after I reflected on all the things, the jigsaw came into place and I realized that we always find an escape route to the voids within us. For all of us who have gone through this, have said this phrase at least once in our lifetime. I didn't ask to be born. If you're going through something similar, don't think you're alone or that you're the only one. I've been through it. I know how it feels. Throughout my teenage years, I was a mess. Didn't know what the fuck I was going to do in my life. Typical, I guess. I'm not the only one. So yeah, growing up, no self-esteem, no confidence, no nothing. But I did have a strong mind, a conviction, and a promise to myself that I would one day become a father. And be a father to my kids. Be the dad that I never had. That motivated me and made me forget about the void within me. Eventually, once you hit a certain age, you realize you never did need a dad in your life. Once you're over your 20s, if you never had a dad in your life, believe me, you won't ever need him in your life from here on after. Your dad left, your dad denied you, your dad divorced, he died, whatever reason it might be, it's something most of us go through, so don't feel like you're the only one, my friend. Stand up and stand strong, for you're still here, and only you can pick yourself back up. Let's not repeat the cycle. We gotta end it here, and we gotta end it now.
The Clymire Podcast. Stay tuned to Clymire Podcast.
Now I'm 22, soon going to turn 23. And it's still haven't met my father, my biological father. I have no idea what his name is, where he is, where he's from. And I don't even know the story behind how it happened, between him and my mom. You get to a certain age where you realize that you don't really need a father. You never really needed a father in your life. I don't really need him anymore in my life. I'm at a point in my life where I'm not interested in knowing who he is, or knowing where he's from or what he's doing right now. I'm not even interested in knowing who my other brothers are, from his side. Yeah, I'm sure most of you would probably be thinking, how can you not be curious? Like, aren't you curious to know who he is? Aren't you like curious to actually see him? What an asshole he really is in person? But no, not really. Like I said, if he was never there in your life, trust me, you won't need him from here on after. It's just not. You just won't need it. You just won't need him at all. My biological father has no idea of what I've become and what I've accomplished so far in my life. Remember that it's him who's missing out on your life and not the other way around. All of my closest friends share the same bond with me. You would be amazed of what they've become. One of them is a full-fledged architect who graduated from Honduras' most prestigious private college with a full scholarship. Another one of my dearest friends is graduating this coming year of 2018 in the major of economics. He ranked in the top 10 of his generation and accomplished it in less than 5 years. And another friend of mine taught himself how to play a guitar. Now he's a full-fledged musician, hashtag rockstar. He also co-founded an online clothing store with myself. I started this podcast, and even though it hasn't become huge yet, I know it will eventually. But it's thanks to you guys who are listening that this will become a reality someday. Please be sure to like and share it with your friends. Aside from the podcast and the online store, I myself am coursing in the major of architecture. Still have about 3 more years to go though, before I graduate. But I'll get there, and hopefully it'll be with you guys as my supporters. This is it for today, folks. I apologize for the late post. I had no internet connection on the past 2 days. I'm still having issues with internet and time to record where I'm living right now. Nonetheless, I have great news. By October, or to say in 2 weeks from now, I'll have a new place for myself. It's going to be much bigger, and the best part, I'll finally have a proper recording studio room, and I'm looking forward to it. If you like the video podcast, make sure to leave a like and share it with your friends on all your social media sites and apps. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.